What is up, YouTube? And today we have the Empyrean ILYNAV or ML ILYNAV preview, and you guys are gonna see that the leaks that were on Reddit were actually not fake. So people accusing him, please apologize. I never doubted him for a second, but this is the model, exactly the same. You're gonna see that the stats and also the class is the same. She's a knight, she's a light unit, her imprints are exactly the same. Her backstory is pretty interesting, not going to go into it in too depth, but yeah, basically, if you look at her stats here, in case you guys didn't look at the last video yesterday, she is basically the tankiest knight we've ever seen. Very, very slow, but you're going to see that if she was fast, she'd be giga broken, but she's already pretty strong and overpowered in my opinion. But this unit is going to cause a massive problem in Epic 7. So if you look at her skill 2 passive, Dragon's Pride, you're going to see it gives everyone on her team 30% penetration resistance when you skill enhance it, and also after every attack suffered by an ally, she'll gain 10% CR. So I do believe that this means if she gets hit by an AoE attack, like her entire team, she gets pushed by 40%, and that's gonna be very, very good because even though she's super slow, this passive will essentially make her very fast. So it's very, very annoying. And we all know that, you know, Navy Captain Landies, Abyss Phoenix and stuff like that, when they hit you with AoE, how annoying it is. But now you have a pretty insane counter because you'll have Empyrean ILYNAV just pushing herself up. And this penetration resistance will be crazy, right? This is going to be very good against all penetration set users. It's going to be good against Navy Captain Landy. Her S3 will do a lot less damage. It won't actually one-shot your team anymore. Probably will only do about like half your team's health, if that. You have units such as Janua and Laya, whose S3 penetrates defense fully. That will do a lot less damage as well. And, you know, just anything on penetration set. You probably have a lot of your single target damage dealers on pen set. Well, now your gear needs to be either swapped off if you're fighting ML ILYNAV because it's not as effective, or you're just going to have to do less damage. So I think this is one of the most broken S2s in the game, just because in the current meta, a lot of damage comes out of penetration, like defense penetration. And now with this passive in the game, it makes the defense stat a lot better than it used to be, right? So ILYNAV is going to maybe come back with Empyrean ILYNAV together on defense teams and stuff like that. But this is a very, very strong passive here. And you can see it in play. Did it just already happen? I guess it already did happen. But yeah, you can see when someone gets hit, she's on Hilag Lance. She just pushed up past 2 enemies. So pretty crazy ability. Next up, we have her S3. So S3, single target attack, does injuries, also will cleanse her allies of 2 debuffs and give them Indomitable. Indomitable is a undispellable 30% defense and effect resist buff, and this damage scales with her max health, and you'll see that the injuries will also scale with the damage. Nothing crazy, but you know, this just makes her kit that much better, right? She has injuries, which means in long fights, she does a lot on the battlefield. And she also has a cleanse, which is pretty crazy. A lot of knights don't really have any cleanses or dispels. This will make her one of the best mitigating knights in the game, just off her S2, and also because she has so much utility with her S3. Also, this Indomitable buff will make your team so much more tankier, right? It's like a defense buff that's undispellable, and the effect resist will be very nice if you pair her with like a Maid Chloe, who can also buff your team's passive effect resistance, and it'll just make her very, very annoying. I think she's going to be very good with Maid Chloe, just based off her skills. She just looks like a very, very toxic unit already. Basically, what I think will happen is you're going to run her with Maid Chloe. All of your other units will probably be on like 20%, 30% effect resist. And then when this is on your team, this Indomitable buff, you're actually going to have this like huge, what's it called? Effect resist buff on your team. So this is her S3 animation, looks like. The damage is nothing too crazy because you're not building her on, I guess you're stacking health, but you're not building crit on her. 4k damage, it's whatever. I think that's through Aureus, but it's fine. The injuries is very nice as well. And of course, the biggest thing is just the cleanse of your team, the dispel, and also this undispellable buff that will be very good with a lot of knights, bruisers, ILYNAV, stuff like that. I can just imagine ILYNAV with defense buff, vigor buff, and Indomitable, like just one-shotting a ton of people. So it's gonna be very annoying. Next, we have her skill 1. Skill 1 is going to be another single target attack. It will heal her, so she has built-in sustain, which is pretty crazy. Also will apply injuries, and you're going to see that the damage dealt will scale with her max health, and also the severity of injuries will scale with the damage dealt. And the biggest thing here is her soul burn. So soul burn is 10 souls. It's going to do increased damage, which is okay. but you'll also see you'll deal additional damage equivalent to 50% of injuries inflicted on the target. So not only does she mitigate a ton of damage, but in long fights, while she's applying these injuries, while she's, mitigating a ton of damage for your team with this S2, while she's being very annoying with this S3 to make your team super tanky, later on in the fight, when you stack enough souls, you just start soul burning your S1 and you'll start doing a ton of damage because this is basically Death Dealer Ray's S1. So you're going to see here, against I think this is a max injury ML haste. Usually it takes a long time to get to max injury, but with her skills all doing injury, it doesn't really take that long. You're gonna see that this does 7k, it looks like on the crit, just outright, which is insane already for a Knight S1, and then 6k on top of that. So basically 13k damage. If it doesn't crit, it's probably like, I don't know, 11k, 10k, but that's still a lot for a Knight, right? Like a Knight doing 10k damage is pretty insane on an S1, right? And only cost 10 souls. And yeah, her animations are amazing. She's going to be available, I think, probably after this banner, so August 15th. So you definitely want to start saving for her. And then we have a unit on the right here who looks new. I'm not sure who that is, actually. If you guys have any idea, let me know. Is it a unit that I missed? But it looks like another dragon, so maybe another dragon 4-star coming out, it looks like, or maybe a 3-star. But anyways, she's coming out on the 15th. I think if you guys are summoning on the current custom Mystic banner, it's a good time to stop summoning because this unit looks pretty freaking insane, right? I think she's going to be on the same level as like ML Haste, ML Senya. I think she's honestly better at this point because, ML Haste and ML Senya, they are very strong because their kits are very strong, but, power creep is always a thing. But the thing is, when you have, passives in the game that just counter certain mechanics. For example, Bellion's passive counters souls. This one's gonna counter penetration. What ends up happening, and another example is like Zio just countering speed. What ends up happening is these units will be in the meta pretty much indefinitely. So I think Empyrean ILYNAV, because there's so much defense penetration in the game, and in the future there probably will be more, she's gonna be one of the strongest units for a very long time. And this by itself, the mitigation is crazy. In the current meta, it's just even better than Crimson Armin for the heavy hitting abilities. And her S3 is just crazy. 4-turn cooldown for this 2-turn Indomitable buff, and like injuries and this dispel is crazy. And you're gonna want to kill her because she mitigates so much damage for her team. But then on top of that, she has this S1 which will heal her and also just apply injuries and just whittle you down. I just want to see how much this heals actually. So it should show us because she's not at max HP here. That was so fast, I couldn't even see it. So it looks like 544. I guess it capped because it like healed her to full health. So we're not too sure how much it actually heals. It probably shows you somewhere in this video. Should I look? So does she actually even take damage? Because she is so tanky, I don't even know if she takes really any damage. Yeah, you can see like she takes 0 damage. So the heal, even though it doesn't heal that much, it'll end up healing a lot because she's just not taking that much damage to deal with. And wow, that did 10k damage. So I guess her S3 does hit very hard too. So yeah, pretty insane unit. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I think she's going to be a must pull. Yeah, very scared for the future though because all the ML 5-stars are just always super OP. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about her. I think she's pretty insane.